Hi everyone, it's FC.Liverpool. It's all Liverpool Football Club. It's all about the team. It's all about the club. It's all about the fans. It's all about everything concerning Liverpool Football Club. And I've got the great Shankly boy. I've got him with me tonight. And let's see. I'm going to bring him straight on because I love George, and there he is. He's more knowledgeable than me. So there he is.
Hi,
Hey,
Frank.
you're okay?
Evening. Hi. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, thanks. And
I'm very happy tonight. Very happy after the weekend. What a great
well,
result.
this is it. This is what I want to talk about, George.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about the game on Saturday. Really need to talk about that because whether you agree with me or not, what I'm going to say, and it's about other fans. I'm talking about our own fans. And Raza Flowers, evening, folks. Right, right. I'll be seeing you on Friday. I'll be seeing you Friday. Don't forget that it's not Thursday night the party because we're playing, so it's on Friday night the football show. But I've got Marios coming on at the last hour, hopefully tonight, George.
Brilliant.
If not, I think. Well, this is it. If not, it's only me and you, I'm afraid, or JK Kismet. And,
that's no problem. It'd be great if Marios can come on. It'd be lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be great because everyone's saying hello to us here. Norman says, even if Frank and George.
Hi, Norman.
Your microphone's a bit crackly, George. I'm afraid.
Is it?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, I'm on my iPad at the moment. Do you think if I go onto my computer, it'd be better?
Yeah, because it's not half crackling.
Give me 5 minutes and I'll switch to the computer.
No,
yeah?
Brilliant.
Yeah, that works. Right,
Thank you, George. Thank you so much. JK, bless Frank, George. Hope you guys are okay. You'll never walk alone. Hiya, JK. Hope you're well. Hope to have you on. Sick and there, George, in the background. Things go wrong, don't. I'm bloody freezing. I don't know about anybody else. The weather's not half changing. I'm supposed to be having snow very soon. Very soon. Oh, yes, JK there. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, JK. Let me know. Hey, JK, you there?
Hello there, Frank.
Oh, that's better. That's better. That's a lot better. I hope to get George. His mic was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And,
technical problems.
Yeah. And like you last week. Like you and me says, Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying that I had a few problems with my devices, and that's why I was using the Mutterstadt name. And now I've got my devices back, but I will be getting a new device in a few weeks, so I'll have no problems after that.
It'll be a lot better, yeah. Well, you sound now anyway, at least people can hear you, I can hear you. So everything's say okay. But we'll just have to wait for George because I'm going to ask you. Anyway, twisting balloons, George. It sounded that way, and it did. It did. And once you get crackling, it's awful. And 90 LFC. Hi everyone. Hiya 90 LFC. First time I've ever seen you or heard about you. Can I say to people here, there's a hell of a lot of YouTube things, unfortunately. And what I mean is that they're unsubscribing people. They're unsubscribing people. So every time that you're coming on to, even if you have subscribed before, you have to subscribe again. or you start losing the subscriptions, and that's happened to me, unfortunately. So, if you press a like and subscribe, costs nothing, and your comments get called out. If you're new to the show, your comments will be read out and discussed by the panel. So please, I've got Eminem all the way from America. Is this live? Yes, Eminem. It's live, absolutely live. There I am here, look, see. So, there's great international artist there, Anthony Brown. Good evening, Frank and George and all. Have a great one, mate. Thank you. And there's a couple of scotches and a thumbs up. And Vars says, yeah, it's live. And Charlie, well, good evening, Frank. And Brian Edley's just come in and said, evening to Liverpool's finest two men. Let's have one, Frank. Steven Gerrard. Steven George. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Poor Steven Gerrard gets it, doesn't he? Of Mr. Sefton, Steven Gerrard. And after Schofield's, hi Frank, hope you're well. After getting a little excited at comments about the city of culture for the, yeah. Hi George, hope you're keeping well too. Yeah, the capital of culture show. This is not the history show, unfortunately. It's the football show. It's just like when it's tell everybody, they come on and start talking about football during the history show. But anyway, here I am. And there's George back again. Okay, George.
Yeah, I hope you got me better now on the mic. Is that better?
Yeah, it's a lot better. A hell of a lot better, because we do have problems.
Yeah. Okay, that's smashing, Frank.
No, that's unbelievable. Thank you. You never took the computer off your wife, did you?
No, it's her birthday today, so she's been on all day.
Oh, well, there you go, you see. I need the computer. The other thing's crackling.
I got it back.
Anyway, Arthur Schofield says, I hope you keep him well, George, which is nice of them. And
yes,
there's Norman. He says, your book arrived on Saturday, George. I'm at the Ephraim Longworth part now. A good read. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, he was an amazing character, Ephraim Longworth. Yeah. Shagley called him a living legend.
Yeah. Well, you look at the legends. It's incredible. I'll just go through. Sorry, George, go on.
He was captain of the Untouchables, 1921-22 Liverpool team that won consecutive league championships. Ephraim was the captain, and I met him at Anfield when he was in his mid-70s. I was about 17. Used to play snooker with him. Yeah.
Wow! So you met him. These are great legends. It's like Shankly. When I was 16 or 17, he was in Lime Street Station. He was sitting on the bench in Lime Street Station. I don't know who he was waiting for. And I just looked at him and I went, hello, Bill. He said, hello, Sam. And I sat down next to him and I was just talking to him, So you were signed by him. Shankly, you were signed by him. You showed me the paraphernalia that your memorabilia that you kindly brought down to me in the scene, the letter and everything else, and the testimonial. So it's just for me, to talk to the likes of Bill Shankly.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, it lives with you forever.
He's probably the greatest football man that ever lived, Frank.
And you know what, though? I'm a great socialist, as you know. And
he was.
Exactly. And that's what I was just going to say. If if I would have known, you know, the ins and outs about socialism and how people should behave, I would have just talked to him for hours. Yeah, if I knew then, because I was only at college, if you know what I mean. So it's incredible, absolutely amazing. Can I just go through these, George? I'll just go through these. Stephen Slade. Not only do I subscribe, but I ascribe to the fascinating interaction with some really knowledgeable Reds. Good evening, one and all. Here's to our twice weekly verbal edification. So Stephen's just come from Dictionary Corner. You know.
That's great.
And there's Eminem X. Why is it saying I'm in America? It's our mate Jay with 5 boys. How are we? Ace. And I was only joking. I only know one Eminem. He's a singer or a rapper
he's a rapper, yeah. He's a rapper.
Exactly. Why is it saying I'm in America? All right, Jay. Good to see you. Great to see you. Thank you. Charlie Woods, as Elvis said, I'm appeared dead sometimes. Nice to be alive. And Brian actually says, here, Snappy lads, you know, so that's nice. It's just nice that we're all here. Every one of us are here. Anyway, funny enough, Vaz says, Ephraim is such a great name. I was going to say that. Yeah, it's an unusual name, isn't it? It's like a biblical name.
We called him If. Yeah. Didn't call him Ephraim, just called him If. That was his nickname, you know.
And Norman says, Alex Raisbeck, another Liverpool legends, also Tom Watson, manager of our first team, first championship side. I have a great photo of that side of 1901.
Well, you know that team, the Untouchables, Frank, that team, the captain, I think, not the captain, one of the top players in the team is Tom Bromelo. Tom Bromelo, I'm in touch with his grandson, Lee Tracy. And Lee still got his bowler hat, you know, from when he used to wear it after the First World War when he came into the team. Now, this lad got married at the town hall and there were 30,000 people at the wedding. That's hard to imagine, isn't it? 30,000 at the wedding.
Well, think about this. He was in the First World War and he was actually wounded. He was wounded.
Yeah, that's right. He was.
One of the stories was he came out and he went up to Anfield and he wanted a trial and he was wounded and he was limping or something. And anyway, they said, oh, no, they can't have. But anyway, what had happened, they only had 9 reserves, you know, actual playing. So they said to him, come on, go in the reserves. And that's, you know, that's the start, apparently, you know, first time playing for Liverpool reserve or whatever, that he went on the road. He's only a Scotty Roader.
Yeah.
Where I came from.
Yeah.
You know, a Scotty Road. It's incredible.
He became like Steve Gerrard of that day. You know?
Yeah, he did. You know, some of the legends that we had. Well, anyway.
100 years ago.
That's it, 100 years ago. More than 100 years ago, because the war finished in 1918 and he was wounded.
Yeah. They won the championships in 1921-22.
Absolutely. You know, so you can't really, you know, knock any of our legends. You can't. And I mean, this is why today legends is, you know, it's loosely termed, in my opinion. You know, they call anyone a legend. Yeah. Anyone. Eminem said, well, John says, how's Francine, mate? Kids are all using my account. Where did Eminem come from? Ah, yeah. So he's a good lad. He's a good lad. And he says, Joanne said, yeah, give her my love, honestly. honestly, mate. And little Frankie as well, who's named little Frankie. David's West End, even in Frank and people. Now, so I want to ask you, George, and then I'll go to JK. Then I'll go to JK. And the question, it's not a question, it's an actual comment from me. Whether you agree with it or what, I just don't know. But I'll go to you and you people out there as well. You people out there, you know, I like your comments on this. I've been watching podcasts, and each podcast, you know, you're getting lads and girls, whatever, you know. This is after the game. This is after the game. And the comments, 99.9% of them, it's as though we got beat.
Oh.
It's as though we got beat. They were criticising players left, right and centre. They was just criticising them. And, you know, I think it's unjust. We just went to Manchester. We went there to the Etihad. We played, you know, the leaders. They were top of the league. We played them, right? We held them. We came back from 1-0 down. We equalised with a fantastic Trent goal. And yet, we're getting criticised by our own fans that we were lacklustre, we were this and we were that, forgetting the bigger picture and keeping us up there. Just imagine if we would have got beat, what these people would have been like. And these are the same people who was asking for Klopp's head last season. They must have been the same people, in my opinion. And I'll go right over to you, George. What do you think of comments like that? Because I was delighted. I even said to Francine, you know, it's the result. The result.
Well, I can't understand any comments like that because I haven't seen those websites. I've not seen as many podcasts or websites as you have. I mean, you know, my personal opinion is that we went to the Etihad. We played a team who had not been beaten there for 22 games? They were 1 game away from the record, the world record, apart from Sunderland about half a century ago, to get all these wins. We go there and we play as well as them. We scored, as you said, a brilliant equaliser. I thought every player played the part. We spoke last week about Matip and Tsimikas, and I thought they all played really well. I mean, the only one that was a little bit off, and as you can understand, it was with his feet, was Alisson. He was a little bit careless with his feet, but he made 2 great saves as well, kept us in the game. I thought it was a great performance by Liverpool. I make no apologies for saying that. For any team to go to the Etihad and play and get a result like we did, they should be so proud of themselves. So I'm not having that. I'm not having that from anybody that we had a bad performance. I know I'm a bit of an optimist as far as Liverpool's concerned, and I would call it out if I thought they played badly. I definitely would. And if we'd have lost, I would have been disappointed. I didn't think we'd equalise because they are so good and they play the ball around so well. And that left winger, Doku, I mean, he can go past anybody. And I thought Trent played him really well, and he got space for himself up front as well and scored. And I loved the way he stood at the end there with his finger on his lips, front of the fans. I thought that was brilliant, you know, iconic pictures. So, no, I don't agree with what anybody's saying about that, Frank. That's my opinion, and I'll not change it. I thought we did really well. It was a big performance, and we're only a point behind them.
Well, the thing is, absolutely, you're spot on, because that was my thoughts as well. And I commented as well. And people were given, you know, like numbers out of 10, but I'll get back to the numbers out of 10, what they were actually giving certain players, which it'll disgust you, actually. But anyway, I'll go to JK. JK, what do you think about the comments I made and about other pods and, you know, people going on how bad Liverpool were and it's as though we got beat? What's your take on that?
Yeah, evening, George. I hope you're well.
Hi, JK. I'm fine. Hope you're well too, although all those miles away. Nice to hear you.
Nice to hear you as well. Yeah, I think we're living in an era where negativity is more bigger than positivity, and I can't really listen to these fans who just moan 24/7. And you, as you were saying about these type of fans who were doing like they wanted Klopp to go last year. So, is it for views? Is it for hysteria? Whatever it is, it's not really a Liverpool way of supporting a football club. And also, Arsenal and Man United have had their fans shows on YouTube and everything are quite big, because at the time when they all started the YouTube craze of having shows for themselves, Arsenal and Man United were doing really poor. Hence why their views are really high, because a lot of fans were moaning. People wanted to watch that, and it's a bit crazy when you think of it like that.
Well, it is. And as Paul Burke there says, I'll just go through these now, because these are commenting as well, just like our good selves. Paul Burke says, we all would have taken a draw before kickoff, wouldn't we? Absolutely. But I remember saying to you, George, all as I want is a result.
Yeah.
And I got the result. I got the result. That's what I got. I got the result, and that was a spot on that. Thank you, Paul, for that. Thank you. And David Westhead, my old mate, he says, the people who complain are surely good at playing FIFA. The result felt like a win to me.
Yeah.
These are the comments. These are the positive comments. These are the positive comments. And Brian Edley says, I thought the forwards were a touch slow on Saturday, but what a point we got. Think of the league we have lost. We have lost because of losing there in previous seasons by a single point. Great performance. And that's Brian. Yeah. Now, Brian Edley's very controversial, but, he's saying, it's a great result. And we've lost, when we've lost there, we've lost the league, but not this time.
I think we've got to be realistic.
Yeah.
We've got to be realistic. We're in every competition. We're 1 point behind Man City. I think maybe 2 behind Arsenal, whatever. We're up at the top of the league. We've got a new team that we're building, Jurgen Klopp's building, new midfield players. We've only played 12 games in, or whatever it is. We're not even halfway through the season. And to go to the Etihad and come back with a point. We went to Newcastle, came back with 2 points. We should have beat Spurs, or at least drew with them. We were robbed by that Diaz goal. That never was. We've got these teams to come to Anfield. I think we'll beat City at Anfield, to be fair, because they don't like. Pep Guardiola doesn't like coming to Anfield. Nobody does. We haven't lost there for about 2 years. So we've got those teams to come to Anfield. So I think we're in good shape.
Well, you think about it as well. When we went there, I was just wanting a result, like yourself, George, like a JK as well. Just a result, like the people wanting a result. And the result we got, other fans, these are our fans. I think they wanted them to go out and get at their City and, destroy them 4-0 and all that. They're not getting the bigger picture, unfortunately. And we played most of the big teams away from home.
Exactly.
As you mentioned about Newcastle.
Aston Villa.
Yeah, we were 1-0 down there. Or up there, we were 1-0 down. And we came back with a Nunes brace, to win 2-1. That sickened that Al fella. That sickens him, to come back. Norman says, I play football at a decent level locally, and I've watched football all over the world. If any fan thinks we're going to steamroller teams every week, are deluded. Sometimes you have to grind results, and that's the nail on the head. We grind out the results, especially with the goal by.
There's no easy games in the Premier League.
No, there's no easy games. There's none easy whatsoever. And I'll be coming back to, about the weekend. Let's just get this results out the way. And my first comment about, what other fans are saying. For me, Klopp's post-match. Stephen Snape says, for me, Klopp's post-match interview said it all. We were at 70 and 80% and still held a team which had previously won 23 home games, just what you said, George, it could prove a valuable point, just like what Brian Edley says. Come the end of the season, reckoning we were more than a match for the well-oiled cheats.
Well, I know they've got all those allegations against them. To be fair, we know that. But as a team of players, they're probably one of the best teams in the world at the moment.
Of course they are.
Football
Of course
team.
they are. Of course they are. And
The
when
number
we
of
won the
goals
league,
they've scored at the Etihad, they scored an average of 3 or 4 goals every game.
yeah,
So we did
we
very
kept
well.
them to a minimum as well. So I'll be going back to a couple of things actually. Eminem says Gerrard's-esque, and that's about the Trent goal. That's about the Trent goal. It's the way, as you said, it's the way he took it and just hit it, didn't he? First time, just like the Ireland's when he scored against us. But we'll be talking about
another assist for Mo as well.
Yeah. And Brian says threat was superb, a wee bit dodgy for the Ake run, but he gave Doku all he wanted. Yeah, you're right there. As you said, George, he who the hell thinks Klopp needs to go? Well, this was last season when we were in the doldrums. This time last year, when we were in the doldrums, we couldn't even win a bloody game.
That's spot on, Andy. Spot on. I mean, he's probably the best manager in world football at the moment.
As Charlie Wood says, some of the pages on Facebook and Twitter are looking at different games to the rest of us. Absolutely. And Gerrard, that why he said Gerrard's-esque, Gerrard loves to such people, and he did. He did. He used to do that, didn't he? And he used to go like that. You what?
Kiss the TV camera, yeah.
And it happens quite a lot, these fans. What they forget is after during interviews, players always say, it's the 3 points that count. And he's right.
Yeah.
He's right. Right, I'm going to go to JK here. I'm going to go to JK. Now, no one knows, and you, George, follow you, but I'll go to JK if I might first. It's Alisson. JK, is Alisson a worry for you on this twinge he's got?
I'm a bit. I'm not worried about his gameplay, but I'm worried about the injury.
That's what I'm saying.
One good thing he's not an outfield player. He's not an outfield player.
No.
Hence, he won't have to do that much more running. So, for me, hopefully he'll have a quick recovery, whatever the problem seems to be.
Well, we don't know what the problem is, and we won't know it until, I think, when Klopp gives his press conference tomorrow for the last day, is it tomorrow or Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday. I think I'll be out for a few weeks, Frank, I think.
Do you reckon?
I'll be playing on Thursday. And I mean, it's going to be a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, I think.
Okay, well, what's the question is, are you worried about Kelleher coming in? For the league game?
No, I'm not worried about him. Only because when he's been in the past, he's performed really well. He's not made too many mistakes, if any, I think, but he obviously lacks match practice at the highest level. Hasn't played for a while. Boy, I think he would have been playing Thursday anyway against Lask. So it gives Ali an extra bit of time. But I think Ali will be out for a few weeks, from what I've heard.
Yeah, well, this is it. You say no one's heard anything about that, but it's what the other lads say as well. That let's see. Norman says, I genuinely felt we were always a threat, just lacked ruthlessness in the final third. Draw was fair in my view.
Yeah. And
Charlie goes on, even this season, people are asking for Klopp to go.
Who are these people? I'd like to know who they are, because they ain't Liverpool fans. They can't be. How could you ask Klopp to go? That's insanity.
Exactly. Paul Burke says, I thought Matip had a great game Saturday. And he did.
I did as well, and I was pleased.
And Brian McMahon, get this lot from numbskulls who have to their moan. Different story when we go on a good run. Okay, we didn't fire as usual, but it's a great point. This season's just beginning to warm up, and that's a spot on comments as well. This is what we're trying to say. Brian says, I think the draw will help us more on Sunday. If we have won on Saturday, then maybe the usual collapse after the Lord Mayor's show, that feeling may be of having left something out of Saturday, will be trouble for Fulham. Well, there you go. And Eminem says, not worried about Kelleher. Oh, that's Jay. His name's Jay. I'm sorry. It's Jay. Eminem's name is Jay. Not worried about Kelleher at all. He's understudy to the best goalkeeper in the world. And that's another very good point. So you see the people coming on here, they're not like negative. We can be negative, if things are going awful.
Yeah.
But, they're in a positive light when we do something good, which was great against City at the Etihad. We got a result. It's as simple as that. And as he says, not worried about Kelleher at all. He's understudy to the best goalkeeper in the world. It's only what you said, George.
Yeah, but if we'll criticise if they need criticising on this show, Frank, won't we? I mean, Luton, we criticised at Luton. That was a bad result. We didn't perform. There's a couple of other games as well we didn't quite perform. But most of the games this year, we've performed well. And in spite of the fact we usually went behind, that's a worry. Going down, we've had to come back. I mean, I've said that many times. We've got to sort this out and stop losing a goal first, because that's a big mountain to climb at a place like the Etihad. When you're 1 down, you've got to score 2 to win. It's a big mountain to climb. We did really well to get back.
Well,
I didn't think we were going to get back, to be honest.
Yeah. Well,
time was running out. Time was running out.
Thanks, George.
When Alexander Arnold scored.
Well,
Sorry, Frank.
No, it's Sam. All I was going to say was, I don't know what I was going to say, actually. I forgot what I was going to say. But I was agreeing with you, I was agreeing with other people because it's the result that counts.
Yeah.
How many times have we said that? And you're quite correct by saying, our lads and girls on here have criticised Liverpool. But they've been fair in the criticism. When they've criticised, they've been very fair. Yeah. They're not saying get rid of him, or whatever. Now, there's Joel Matip. Let's take Joel Matip, for example, George. Remember a couple of seasons ago, 2 or 3 seasons, he was always injured.
Yeah.
And I said, get rid of him. He's always injured. What use is he? Get someone else in, who never gets injured. And this is what now. Like last season, he played well. This season, he's been playing great. But, for the past couple of seasons, he's been playing great, really. So he's becoming a stalwart alongside the big veg, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's why there's no need to worry. But what I want to go into, let's just read these out. Let's see what Stephen says. He says, for a youngster, Kelleher is as cool as they come. Any team would miss Ellison. But so far as being apprehensive about the young goalkeeper is concerned, I have no qualms. We've got some comparatively easy games to come in the next week or 2. He's playing behind a decent defensive unit after all. Great point. And Norman says, I think a good way we could break teams down at times this season is Matip coming forwards with the ball. He did a couple of times on Saturday. It confuses opponents. That's spot on as well.
Alan Hansen used to do.
Yeah, that's what he carries on and says. Alan Hansen was brilliant at it. That's what he says. And the VAR says Matip was superb on Saturday.
He was.
And Brian says, George, did Carol have a good birthday?
Yeah, she did, Brian. Thanks. And thanks for your good wishes. I got your messages. Thank you. She had a lovely day. Thank you. Good man.
And Jay says, Matip will be an awkward DM if we get a CM in the next season. Matip's injuries, says Charlie Wood, are being managed better now. Yes. Yeah.
Seem to be.
And as Stephen says, constructive criticism will always fuel healthy debate. That's it, because we can discuss. Discuss. JK, what do you think of Matip's form this season?
Bit surprised. I think he's just getting on with his game now. He's not really thinking. He's not getting injured, so that's the blessing in disguise. And I think he's more calmer than Konate in the big games. Matip has a mistake in him sometimes, but all in all, on Saturday, he was probably. I would give him man of the match actually. Between him, Trent, and Gravenberch, out of them three, for me, were the man of the match. But Matip
was your man of the match. No, that's a very good point, because that, I'm not saying it took the thunder away from me, but I was going to say to you, who is you give man of the match to? Who is you give man of the? Well, there's he's chosen three, JK, including Trent and Matip and Gravenberch. Who would you say your man of the match was? I know who my man of the match was.
Yeah, well, my man of the match was Trent. My man of the match was Trent. Trent Alexander.
Okay. No, of course. Do you know who my man of the match was?
Go on.
Tsimikas.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
He was brilliant.
And he gets some criticism as well, doesn't he, Frank?
All the time. He has a bad game. Remember that bad game he had? And people were saying, don't play him anymore. Don't play him. And he comes back next game, played blind, and he's been playing great ever since.
Yeah, I said that last week.
He covered the most ground.
Yeah, he did. Say that again there, JK.
No. Yeah, he covered the most ground for us on Saturday out of all of our players.
He did.
He
did. He did cover the most ground. And, his passing was great as well. All right, one or two went astray, but it was very good. It was very good. And this is why people are not getting the bigger picture, George.
I mean, Diaz had a chance at the end. It was a lovely chip down to Diaz, last move of the match. And he just couldn't get the header or get it down, No. I thought he was going to do something now.
And as Norman says, Costas is a prime example of your great point, Frank. We at times constructively talk of him, but he was decent Saturday, and I was worried about Silva against him. We all were, because no matter who was playing left back, whether it be Robbo or anybody, we'd be worried. But he contained him, and as you said, George, people seem to forget, that the likes of that Doko, whatever his bloody name, how you pronounce his name, he could go past anyone.
Yeah.
He could go past anyone.
Grease lightning, isn't he? Grease lightning. I mean, he was brilliant.
And don't forget, again, what about their goal? Now, their goal came from a terrible mistake.
Alisson slipped. He
slipped. And that's where I think he's done his little hamstring and carried on. That's where I think that, by the way. And he slipped because that ball should have been for Mo to run onto. So you'll never know what to do.
But I thought our two defenders were a bit slack and not stopping Ake. going through
I
between
don't
them.
think, no, but I don't think, George, you've played football professionally. You played, in my opinion, one of the greatest Liverpool sides ever, with the likes of Roger, with the likes of Saints, with the likes of everybody under the shanks. And, sometimes you're just not prepared. Look, this is the way I looked at it. This is the way I looked at it. This is the way I looked at it. Everybody knew. They seen Mo go. Our forwards are looking up there that way. They're looking towards Mo. They're not looking at him. And they seen Mo going. So they knew where that ball was actually going. So, it makes no difference how professional you are. That little tension goes away then, because you know where the flight of that ball, and that ball is going to be up at their end.
Yeah.
It just fell. It just fell. So they weren't prepared.
And Alisson nearly got his hand to it. He nearly managed to get it around the post.
And this is what people were actually saying he should have saved it.
No, he didn't.
Did you see the save he made from Foden, by the way?
Yeah, fabulous.
That was incredible, that. Right
that was going inside the post.
Post. It was an incredible save.
Yeah.
But that doesn't get mentioned, you see. I should have had that goal by Ireland, and our defence was awful. Well, I'm going to tell you now, I've seen some out of 10, marks out of 10. Do you know how many Mo got? Some gave between 2 and 3.
Oh, that's just rubbish.
2 and 3, I've had enough of this. Alisson got a very poor game. They were saying, very poor, very poor. This is Alisson, a very poor game. One mistake where he slipped. Anybody can slip. Anybody. Yeah. And he slipped, unfortunately. And he nearly got his answer. Well, he did get his answer it. He got his answer it.
Yeah.
And he made an unbelievable save from Foden.
Yeah, and another one just before we scored. He made a great save. Yeah. And we went down the other end and scored from that save.
Exactly. So, he got the very, very poor, very poor. And I'm saying, well, what are these people looking at? Haven't they seen the bigger picture? Haven't they seen the bigger picture? And I commented, I said, you think that we got beat today? You thinking that we got battered 4-0? I just couldn't believe some of the comments and some of the scores. And there was one other fella who said, hang on a minute, we drew. We've just played Manchester City at the Etihad. But he calls it the
champions, yeah.
Yeah, anyway. But let's see what our lads say here. I love some of these. There's Darryl. Did you get the message, Darryl? I hope you did. Right. Brian says, are we going to get funds in January, lads? I'm not so sure. We'll come back to that. I promise you. That's the next one. That's the next thing that we'll talk about to George and to JK. Darryl says, didn't get no link tonight. Been waiting days. You've got to read what Jason said to you, Darryl. Okay. And he says Samikas was his man of the match.
Sure.
He says Samikas. And Charlie Wood says Mataba's goals in his game. I'm not being funny. I think it is a bit of a criticism, but I call him Mata the Pitney Bithead because throughout his career at Liverpool, he scored some good headers, by the way.
Yeah.
He has, but he's missed some glaring ones. They've gone very wide, and over the bar where he's been just like about between 5 and 6 yards out where he cleared head, free header, and he got everywhere. That's right. He says he's got a tripply bit head. But young people don't know what a tripply bit is. George. So we know what a tripply bit is, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, Jay says Trent, Tsimikas, and Szoboszlai, they were his men of the match. Not just one. Stephen Snape says Tsimikas, like a lot of players, needs to find his rhythm. I thought he played steadfastly and gelled well with our back four. Trent, Marshall, Doku, very effectively. There you go. And Brian McMahon, Frank, the Man U game, December the 17th, the new upper stands, which may be open, are tickets spoken for. That is, season ticket holders or can go on general. The thing is, I think they might go on general sale for the simple reason the season ticket holders have already been compensated, especially with them coming out and saying, "Oh, it won't be open now until next season." You know, the upper stand. Now they're saying that it's opened against Man United. I just don't know. I know that there's a safety test. There's a safety test in the next week or two where there's 3,000 people can go in, but you've got to get tickets for it. And I don't know. I hope they don't. I hope they don't charge, you know, for going in to sit there, if you know what I mean.
No, they won't.
I just hope they don't, because that's
they probably make an announcement.
Yeah, that's pure unadulterated greed. Unless you know you just apply for them. You apply for the tickets so that no more than 3,000 can go in. But I hope they don't charge. You know, obviously, they can open up the canteen or whatever if it's open and let them buy a sausage roll pie or a cup of tea.
Well, they can't charge for a safety exercise.
Well, I don't know with this lot, to be honest.
That would be crazy.
Wouldn't put it past them, to, honestly. Norman says George would be able to understand it better than us, but it can't be easy to perform well when you're not in the team every week. I wonder if Costas knows he's in the team for a while. We may see the best of him. That's a good point, isn't it? Because he is, you know, he's starting to play a lot better. He has one bad game, starting to play a lot better, in my opinion.
Curtis Jones is a good example of that, because Curtis wasn't in the regular game, and when he started getting the regular game, he saw his game develop and explode. Now he's, you know, playing really well.
Yeah. No, you're so right. Stephen Snape says, agreed, Brian. Gravenberch gave us legs and impetus. When those who travelled the globe started to tire. That's right. And he did. Darryl Merry. Jota must have got at one of them, Frank.
He was quite quiet, Jota. He was quite quiet on Sunday.
He was. He's very quiet, unfortunately. And he got injured as well. He's injured. We haven't mentioned him. Soulboy Fran. Everyone was on the front foot, definitely. Blame Allison for that goal, for the kick out, even though he's the best goalie in the league. I'd say he's the best goalkeeper in the world, Soulboy. I really do. I'm not being biased. I don't think there's anybody better than him. Anybody at all.
Unfortunately, he did slip.
It was a slip. It was a bad slip as well. And as we discussed, he nearly got to it. Charlie Wood says 50 pence said doesn't sound the same though, Frank. It doesn't. 50 pence said, 50 pence said. Always called it. Jay says, have a look at Szoboszlai heat map. Kid may as well shout meep meep like the road runner. And his heat map is he's all over the place. Yeah. He's all over the place. My next question is to everyone on here. I'm just going to just mentioned the last 3 years. Shane McGowan, evening lads, couple of pints there.
Hi, Shane.
Hi, Shane. People compare players. Semikas doesn't play the way Robbo does. He plays a different game, says Charlie Woods. Absolutely. I made dare I say he's a better crosser of a ball than Robbo. He really is. Brian McMahon, I thought Diaz was going to lob the City keeper in the last minute. Art stopped beating, watching that. It did. And that was, do you know what? I went so funny.
Yeah, I thought he was going to score. He's going to score.
I was just like lobbing them over. You know,
I'd have been through the roof.
Did you see his dad?
Yeah, good.
Wasn't that a lovely sight? Wasn't that a lovely? That man was in grave danger a couple of weeks before.
Yeah, a few weeks ago. Yeah,
and there he is in the ground. There he is in the ground, going like that.
Yeah.
Scored.
Brilliant.
Daryl said, no message, Frank. Daryl, there will be a message for you. I'm telling you now, but there will be. Unfortunately. Okay, there will be a message. I'll promise you that. Anyway, he won't respond to your link. There'll be a message for you, though. Stephen Snape says, if FSG changed charge for the trial run and God forbid anything happens, then paying supporters have a far wider legal right to compensation. The potential to become embroiled in rapacious litigation is a very real possibility. Frankly, if they charge for a test run, it's profiteering in the most predatory form. Absolutely. That's what I said, at the beginning, be pure, unadulterated greed. But anyway, let's get away from that. Here's my question, and my question's going straight to you, George. Okay? And then to you, JK. And I want your honest opinions. on this. Do you think that we need a defensive midfielder, George?
Well, it can only help, Frank, can't it? It can only help to strengthen us up in mid. We probably do, yeah. I can't get my head around that situation. We've been talking about for quite a while about Andre from Brazil. From what we were thinking, he's ideal for Liverpool. He's young, he's classy, he's got all the things you need in that position. And then somebody was saying that Fulham were going to get him or something, which I can't believe. So I don't know what's going on there. I mean, you never know with Liverpool what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, they pulled the wool over our eyes with Caicedo and Lavia. We were all thinking, they're going to pay all this money, and they didn't in the end. But they got McAllister and Szoboszlai and Gakpo and all the rest. So, I mean, I think we might pull something out of the hat in January because Klopp will want to strengthen before the end of the season. We need a strong run-in, and we've already got a good bench. Our bench was better than City's, on Saturday.
Yeah.
City had hardly any players on the bench. A couple of goalkeepers.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I think we do need another one, Frank. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's a JK.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think, as Joe said, it would help the situation. And I think, see, when Ande came on for the last 10 minutes or 5 minutes, I can't really remember, he did what he needed to do. Fouled, got on with it. And against Brentford, I watched his game, and I was pretty impressed with his positioning, his dirty little fouls he was doing, and we haven't got that in the team. So for me, he had to start Sunday against Fulham.
He could be right.
So,
Did he get booked?
And I think, yeah, he did. He likes getting booked. But we need that in the team, I think,
Yeah. Not too early in the game, though.
That's the point. He needs to do it, but do it late on. Not so early so that,
Well, the point is, you see, I want to ask these lads out here as well. I really need to ask these lads. Hang on, hang on, where am I? Do you think, boys, that we need a defensive midfielder, a number 6? And I've got to go to Zal. I've got to answer him here. Hang on, where is he? Am I not allowed on anymore? No, you are. Zal will have to send you a message, or Jason will. Don't be worrying. Okay. Don't worry, Daryl. Honestly, believe me. The European court says, Brian McMahon, courts are to give a verdict on the European Super League next week. Should be interesting. Yeah, should be. Jay says, Frank, how do I get hold of you? You got email, mate? Yes, I have. Of course, I've got an email. Of course. Do you know, I answer nobody, you know, because it's what I'm going through and what I've been through, you know, because of being ill health and, you know, certain things on my mind and whatever. And I haven't been answering anybody, and I should really, but anyway, but I will send you an email. I will send you I'll try and get hold of you one way, Jay. Okay, be nice to see you because I haven't seen you for a while. It'll be great to see you. It really will. Brian Headley, get a new right back and get Trent into the machine into midfield. He will cause havoc. It's a no-brainer for me. Can't understand why it hasn't happened already, says Brian Headley. Stephen Snape.
I agree, Brian.
Stephen Snape. If we don't sign an orthodox 6, then our midfielders won't reach their full potential. It would be tantamount to stagnation and curtailing our development. Surely we must capitalise on what's been a more than satisfactory start to the season. Excellent point. 2 great points there. Brian McMahon, this number 6 problem, buy a right-back defender and put Trent in midfield. Okay, that's one problem sorted, but you still got to buy. And I'll be getting back to the right-back. Brian McMahon, as he says there, you know, this number 6 problem, buy a right-back defender and put Trent in midfield. That's his solution. And Norman says, what I will say on defensive mid is McAllister is not the answer in that position. And as soon as we do get one, McAllister may have more freedom. He will have more freedom. He will. And the Vars says, I think we do need a number 6, but it won't be until next summer. Right, now here's I think we definitely need a defensive midfielder. I really do, because I really want to see, and I think it's unfair, you know, for McAllister. McAllister is not a number 6. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's a fantastic midfielder, but he's losing confidence. Yes, he plays well, in my opinion, against City. He plays well, but he's not a defensive midfielder. And going back to the right back, you know, people were saying we need a right back just there, you know, buy a right back. Thing is, we bought a right back in Calvin Ramsey. Never worked. It didn't work with the young lad. And now he's out on loan. God knows where he is, but he's out on loan. So Klopp did buy a right back. So he must have had thoughts about it. And it just didn't work. You've got to pay the money. This is the problem. Now we've been linked with a £78 million player. I don't know whether you're aware of that, George. A 78 million Florian Wirtz, whatever his name is, you know, from Bayer Leverkusen.
Who's linking him with it? Who's linking us with him?
You know, it's the papers and whatever, and all this 78 million.
Paper
We're
talk.
not going to get him. And what people are saying now is, well, Xabi will have a words in his ear about Liverpool. What's that all about? And one particular pod, this fella promised, he did promise, this is like going back 2 years ago, and he's going on about Jude Bellingham. Believe you me, Jude Bellingham signing for us, nobody else. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, I'll leave it to Jurgen.
He's going on
The
about
thing is,
it.
I'm pretty sure. If I was a betting man, I would say we'll definitely buy somebody in January. Not saying who will buy, but we'll get a strengthening. We'll get somebody in January. He's got to.
Well, I really...
Till the summer, like Vaz says. Too late, summer.
Well, funny enough, I agree with Brian there in this respect, but I will come back to it right away. He says, years ago, nobody ever mentions a number 6. The midfield covered the park and covered, and which they did. But you're forgetting, I think Brian's forgetting here, about the likes of Didier Man and the likes of Mascherano. They were defensive midfielders. Yeah. They were 2 of our best ever defensive midfielders. That's what. But he goes back before then, and we did. You know, the older the midfield did. Souness.
Souness, McMahon, all them.
McMahon, you know.
Hard as nails. Jimmy Case.
You know, you didn't need defensive midfielders because, as Brian said, they did the defending. And no one was better than the 3 that you just mentioned.
Tommy Smith.
Stevie McMahon, absolutely. Jimmy Case. Oh, blimey. Did you know Jimmy was as deaf as a doornail, you know?
See, I didn't know that. No, didn't know that. No.
I was out with him. I was out with Sean Stiles, him, and Willie Miller.
Oh, Willie Miller, yeah.
Honestly, God, not that funny. 3 Stooges. And he had 2 deaf aids. I said, are you deaf? And he went, you what? I said, are you deaf? And he went, yeah.
Yeah.
Great fella, Jimmy. Great
I know
fella.
he's taught about him, Emma. Smashing.
Every time he was coming out the pub, he was saying, what building's that? I'm saying, you what? He said, what building's that? He says, you've taken the piss out of me. And I went, yeah. You know, what building's that? You what? What was that, Jimmy? Lovely fella. Really lovely fella.
Yes.
After Schofield, I believe we already have one. He just hasn't shown up. Just wait. He will show himself eventually. Well, that's keeping us in the. That's keeping us. Who is it? It's not that Batatich, is it? Wonder if he means it.
Thiago.
Brian Ridley. If we get a defensive midfielder that would suit us even more to play Trent in midfield, he will move the ball straight up to the forwards in a second. Well, that's what, believe it or not, that's what McAllister does. And Bars of Flowers, no, they are. This is what he says. Is Wirtz a number 6? I don't know nothing about him. I hardly know anything about him myself, but he's, you know, they're saying he's worth 78 million. But if he's worth 78 million, by the time he comes on the market, that's going to go up. So you might as well just count Liverpool for 78 million anyway. There's, you know, we can get, as George mentions, and we've all mentioned before, you know, hoping that we get this lad, Andre, from Fulham, whatever they're called.
We might still get him, Frank.
Yeah. Because one of the lads, I forget who it was, said, was it Soulboy Frank? Not quite so sure. The other week said it could be a smokescreen.
Yeah.
Because Fulham haven't signed him, and he's supposed to sign last week, but he hasn't signed him.
Can't see that.
Well, it could be a bit of a. Could be. As Vaz says, is Wirtz a number 6? I don't know nothing. I don't know. I don't even know. He can play either right or left. That's what I in midfield, that is. But do we need another midfielder, you know, rather than a defensive? I'd rather go for a defensive number 6, a midfielder. That's what I'd be made up if we got him. I really would. I'm not him. I'm talking about, you know, 30 million. You know, if he's a flop, for Andre, that is. If he's a flop, well, okay, 30 million. I think maybe could recoup most of it back if we'd sold him. So I think it's a worth an investment, isn't it? He could be our answer. He could be our answer. That's the problem. This young Andre. And Norman says Whelan could stick his foot in. Silent assassin, he was known as, and he was. Ronnie Whelan.
Yeah, Ronnie Whelan. Yeah, great player.
And I called FSG tight-fisted on a stream yesterday, as someone said. That was not true. I think they are tight-fisted, says they are. Of course they are. Because we'd have had. Look, this is the way I look at it. When we were getting our players in, I think Jürgen knew. I really do believe this. Jürgen knew that we needed a number 6. And that's why he brought Endo in at a cheap rate. And to me, it was a panic buy. And it just hasn't worked out what he would like it to work out as. And let's see what's there. I'm going straight over then to JK. A DM would surely allow Szoboszlai, McAllister, Trent, Gravenberch to really flourish. They need properly, unleashing. I totally agree. What do you think, JK? Do you think that it could be? Is this an opportunity to go out and buy a defensive midfielder, a number 6 in January?
Yeah, I think the DM topic's taken a lot of energy from us fans, you know, and I think I would just give Endo the gamble, let him play. He doesn't have to pass, and if it gives, say, Gravenberch or Szoboszlai a little bit more freedom, then I'm all for it, you know. Just playing Endo until January if you do sign the Andre guy, and. I remember a few weeks back. Do you remember when McAllister did that pass?
Yeah,
against Everton for our goal, and he was really hard.
Unbelievable.
And he did the same against City. He got the ball, turned, passed it to Gravenberch, and we got going again.
Yeah.
He's done that a few times now.
Yeah.
You know? So fans need to see these little things that players do and appreciate that. Because if McAllister wasn't there on Sunday and it was, say, Silver or someone, that was going in 2-0. So he turned, bang, and he did that against Everton. He played one of the best passes I've seen this season anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you because I actually said that myself, JK. That was the best pass I've seen all season so far when he put it out to Nunes. He was crowded out as well, you know. There was 2 Everton players on him. And he just hit a perfect weighted ball right through to Nunes to run onto. Nunes to Salah, goal 2-0.
Yeah, and he's not a number 6, is he, Frank? McAllister's not a defensive midfielder. He hasn't got the pace. He hasn't got the pace. I noticed against City, Doku ran away from him, just ran past him.
And he tried to
that's not his strength. Yeah. His strength is, as JK said, creating forward passes and up front part of the attack. He's not a defensive midfielder, in my opinion. No,
it's everybody's opinion. Yeah. I mean that, George. But you get, you do get fans saying, "Oh, give him a chance," he can. But you just hit the nail on the head. He hasn't got the pace. Anyone with a bit of pace can pass him.
Got a very fast brain, but he's not quick. Not
exactly.
Over a short distance.
Exactly. So he would rather have the ball, to him in midfield where he can, just go forward and thread those balls through. And this is what he tries to do. And this is what he's done in the past. This is what he's done for Brighton. This is what he did in the World Cup with Argentina. This is why he was named Young Player of the whole of the tournament. Not just for the final, but the whole of the tournament. That's how special he was, and that's how special he is.
Yeah.
So if we do get a DM, I'll be over the moon because we'd have to get a quality. This Andre is a quality midfielder, defensive midfielder. He's a quality. I've seen him. I was only looking at him the other day. I was only looking at him the other day again, and I said, if we don't get him, we've got a great opportunity to get this lad. And he'd just slot right in. He'd slot right in.
Yeah, fingers crossed. They're working on it.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Vase of Flowers says, Whelan and McMahon were great central midfielders combo. Yeah, you're right there. Whelan and McMahon. And the difference then, though, was you could tackle. You can't now. Say so.
That's a good point, really, because that's why Endo gets booked so much. Milner used to get booked a lot as well.
Yeah. See, I didn't want Enzo to play on Saturday. I didn't want him to play against City because, in my opinion, he would have been sent off. And I think Klopp knew that. He's too rash.
Too aggressive.
He's too rash. And say like Enzo got a game right through from now till the end of the season, I think he'd become the only Liverpool player to be sent off. He'd break the record for one season. That's in my opinion, because he's very rash. He's very rash. Anyway, I know it's a bit of criticism, but that's the way it is. This new midfield, says Brian Edley, is already ahead of time. Wait until next season to see them in the Prem and Champions League. There won't be a better midfield in Europe, and they will be ready for glory.
Yeah, I think this team's only just starting, and I think the best is yet to come.
Oh yeah, well they're only gelling. What do you think, JK? Do you think that, like as George says, the best is yet to come?
I'm pretty surprised how good Szoboszlai is and how well he's done. So with that, we're sort of more advanced. Actually, we've got a brand new midfield, and we've only lost one game in the Premier League. And that's why when we're saying about McAllister playing the 6, you have to do that job. He's being took to the deep end, but we haven't got battered, really, have we? Him playing in that position. So, and also in this time, he's played the DM role. He's learned that. He's added that to his attacking game. So he's got both worlds now. So, but I think the best will come when we get an out-and-out number 6 guy who just eats everything up and lets the attacking players do what they want to do. Personally, that's what I think.
So JK and you, George, we all agree that we need a number 6, like our lads out there as well. They were commenting.
Yes.
So we need a number 6. That'll do, mate.
Yes.
That'll do, mate.
I had somebody say the other day, JK was saying there, we only lost once this season. And I had somebody say the other day, and on that occasion we were beaten by a guy sat on a sofa.
Yeah.
In the VAR room.
Yeah, and that's true.
Exactly.
I don't say we were robbed. I say we were cheated. We were cheated. I don't care what anyone.
Perfectly good goal. Everybody admitted it, even VAR in the end. They apologised. So we should have one more point and one more goal.
That's why we were cheated, because he came out and apologised.
Yeah.
We apologised. So that means not robbed. Cheated.
They were unlucky with the last minute goal as well, with the own goal. That could have went anywhere. Could have went anywhere.
It's done now. Nothing's going to happen. They ain't going to say, okay, it's done. The topic's closed, It's just, football's turned into a bit of a joke now, The professionalism in certain things. Have you seen how many screens are in the VAR room? There's about 10 big screens. They got guys who
can't get it right.
And they're still getting it wrong.
Can't get it right.
I mean, the game the other night between Wolves and Fulham, there was a penalty. The referee didn't give it. He didn't give it, and then VAR got involved. Why did they get involved? The referee's not giving it. Leave it.
Yeah.
They went and got involved, and then they changed it. No wonder the
Yeah.
Wolves players were going ballistic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like when you score a goal now, the celebration isn't the same what you got in the.
You can't celebrate. You can't celebrate,
You
JK.
can't celebrate now. It's mad.
Everybody waits for 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 4 minutes for VAR to make their mind up.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
crazy.
It's crazy.
Enzo
Only a
Sheenson.
penalty you can celebrate now.
Yeah. Enzo seems to need more time to adjust to the speed of the PL.
I don't think he's done too bad, Endo. He's not been brilliant, but he hasn't let us down. He's played his role quite well, I think, in the games when he's come on.
Yeah, I understand that, but
he's not the answer. But I mean,
and that's my point. He's not the answer, but the unfortunate thing is, for him, that is, when he went in, when he goes in for tackles and, he's up against a player, he could do that just once too many, and he'll get a yellow card, and how will they react on a yellow card? And then he's off. But I think he's too rash myself. I really do. I think he's trying to prove himself to the fans, to Klopp. I think he's trying to prove himself, and this is where he's letting himself down a little. But he, as you said, George, he hasn't let us down in a sense.
It's a decent addition to the squad. Yeah.
And he scored for us as well, don't forget. He scored the big header.
Captain of Japan. I mean, he's a quality player, captain of Japan.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, Brian Edley, never mind Dublin. I'm looking tickets for the Munich 2025.
Yeah.
Take me, Brian. I speak German, says Stephen Snape. God, blimey, they're all lots of. It's not even Christmas yet, and they're talking about another 2 Christmases, and after that. All I know is Volkswagen, the people's car, says Brian Edley. Absolutely. And being impressed with Gravenberch when he's played, he travels with the ball well. I want you to talk about him. It's only while I put the kettle on. I've got to take my bloody tablet, to be honest. I forgot all about my tablet. Do you mind, George, talking about Gravenberch?
No.
With JK and the lads on here. Thank you. Come be a minute.
Yeah. I thought Gravenberch played well against City, and he was instrumental to some degree in that last goal. He carried the ball nicely forward and laid it out to Diaz, and then Diaz came in from the left and put it across to Salah, and Salah picked out Trent. Trent dispatched it into the net. So I think Gravenberch has been a really good addition. I think he's a quality world-class player. And he, again, is another one I think will only get better with time. He's very fit. He's still young. And again, he complements Szoboszlai and McAllister. So I think, we've got a really good strength in midfield and on the bench. It was good that Klopp took Harvey Elliott on again. He's got a lot of trust in him as well towards the end of the game, bringing him on, and Endo. So, I mean, I think all in all, as I said earlier on, I thought it was a good result, to say the least. And I would have taken that before the game. I don't know what you think, JK.
Yeah, I think Gravenberch.
Yeah.
I just think that Gravenberch changed the game. He came on, he outran Rodri, and as soon as he started doing that, I thought, you know what, he's looking good, and I think we needed that burst of energy from him. He actually helped as well. So from a losing position, 1-0 away to City, taking a point for me, I'm happy with that.
Oh yeah,
if we're winning 1-0. I think if we was winning 1-0 and we let a goal in, it would have been disappointing. But because we were losing 10 minutes to go and we scored, job done, I think.
Yeah, that's it. Psychology, isn't it? You always think, a draw can be good sometimes, and other times it can be disappointing. Yeah. As you said, if we're winning 1-0 and they get a late equaliser, we go off the pitch feeling a bit down. But the way it worked on the weekend, to score that goal and the way the goal was scored and the time it was scored at and the reaction of our fans, it really lifted everybody. And I think we came off the pitch happier than them with the 1-1.
Exactly.
Do you not think so?
Yeah, I think Yeah, 'cause did you see Pep's face before the game? He was not his. He's got this cheeky smile, Pep, and
Yeah,
before the game, he had this like a grey, like like a grey shadow over his face. And when they scored, that sort of cheeky smile sort of came back. And then when we see guys, that grey face came back up. It was funny, man.
and his hand went on his head.
Yeah, exactly. You
I
know what it
wonder.
is with
Oh,
Pep?
yeah, I wonder what Nunes
Yeah,
said to him at the end. That was interesting. I'd love to have been a lip reader, although I don't speak
yeah.
Spanish. It was
No,
something a little bit tasty, I think.
in a weird way, that's what I like about Darwin. He's got this, like, I wouldn't say, like, he's got this energy about him where he don't like people to be above him. He wants to be number one, and I
Yeah,
think him arguing Pep showed you what sort of character he is. He don't want to be number two, or whatever. He wants to be number one, and I think that argument with Pep, I was like, we'll probably find out in this week what happened there. Love to find out
yeah.
actually.
I think
But
Guardiola is
you,
a fantastic manager. I mean, but one thing, comparing him and Klopp, I think Klopp's taken Liverpool and built now two teams, really. When he came in, we were struggling, and he's built that team that won everything. And then they had a little bit of a slip up last year. And we've came close a few times to getting that Premier League, and we didn't quite make it. Now he's building another team. I think with Guardiola, the teams he's managed have all been quite successful in the beginning,
yeah,
like Barcelona and others that he was at. He's always had a quality team to manage with quality players. And I think Jurgen is creating players. He's bringing players through as well from the academy. And this last year, he's bought the right players in, like Szoboszlai and like McAllister and like the others he's brought in. And Nunes, I thought Nunes could have scored again on
exactly.
the
Yeah.
week. He had a good chance there. He couldn't just pull it to the left and missed it.
Put it to the left and slot in. Yeah, I was waiting for him to do that.
Yeah. I think when he's got a bit of time to think, that's when he tends to miss the chances. If he pulls the trigger like he did in Newcastle quickly, he seems to get them in a bit better. But I love Nunes. I mean, I love his passion and his energy and the way he goes between the lines looking for the forward pass. I mean, Salah wasn't at his best. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, he wasn't at his best, but he gets very closely marked. Every time he gets the ball, there's about 3 or 4 people around him. So he uses the ball well, and it was a great pass to Trent for the goal.
Yeah, Trent started wearing. Sorry, okay, Frank. Trent started wearing Adidas boots now, and that was the first time he wore them in the Premier League.
Yeah,
I think
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen the advert. Did you see the advert, the Adidas advert with Trent? It's on TV. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It shows him as a kid of 8 years old, coming to the academy and getting in the car, and he wants to be like his idols and his heroes. He wants to be on there, and he said he was. His big thing was Istanbul 2005, because he was only very young, and he's seen Stevie Gerrard and the boys at Istanbul, and that's what he wanted to do. And then when he was in the European Cup final himself, he said that was me being my Gerrard.
Well, do you know what? I've always said this, George. I'm glad you mentioned that final against Spurs, because when Origi, try and watch it again, normal play. And when Origi scores, you see Trent from the bottom of the screen running, and he's got his hands down, his tight-fisted hands, and he's running. And that's like, not like that, but, he's got his hands down and he's running. And, that's when you go, we've done it. You do that, not that. It's this. And you see him running, the relief and everything else, and running over to Origi. I've never forgotten that. Never forgotten that.
Well, that was his moment. That was his moment.
And that's his moment. And this lad is going to stay with Liverpool for the rest of his career. Like Stephen, like Jamie. These are Scousers. And, I can't say too much about Trent, because he's a great. Listen, do you know let's go away from the game on Saturday, please, George and JK. And I'll go to you, Jake. Thanks for looking after it. I had to take me little tab out. Look, can you see I'm growing a beard? Do you know why? It's not that I want to grow a beard. It's this thing's come out on my face, and it's killing me. It's killing me, and I had to go to a dermatologist, and he said he never said anything. Like the receptionist said, he won't be able to see it until he sends you an appointment because it's busy and everything else. So I said okay. So I'm waiting for the appointment, but I can't shave.
Yeah.
The skin's killing me. That's why
you see. Frank. You won't be as bad as me, mate. When I had 20 stitches in my head and 14 staples to the skin graft. There you go.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, blimey, George.
Like a crater on the moon. That was skin cancer.
You're not bionic.
It's history now. Well done. I've got another one.
Jeez, we've all been through it, haven't we? Really, we've all been through it. Unfortunately, but we're here to tell the tale. That's what I say. I didn't even know my friend, a very good mate of mine when we were younger, going out with the lads and, at the weekends and playing football and everything else. And he was not a bad player either. He's a very, very good player, Tony Farrell. And Francine phoned me when she was going to pick the baby up from school, from work. And she said, did you know that Tony got buried today? And I didn't know. I'm not in touch with anyone. And I would have struggled to get to the service, but I would have gone. Yeah. If you know what I mean. I would have gone to the service for my old mate. And I would have met other old mates of mine, And it's just shocking, But at least we're here to tell the tale. We're here to tell the tale.
Yeah, live every day.
Can I just ask people again, please subscribe, because I've lost subscriptions and YouTube has taken away subscribers so that you subscribe again. I don't know why they're doing it. Francine said it's something that they like to do so that they know people are watching. So they take away the subscription and, subscribe again. Please do that for me. Get the algorithm out there. Just press like and subscribe. And, everything's fine for me. Thanks a lot. Please, please do that for the show. Please do that for the likes of George, JK, Vase of Flowers, Marios. He said he'd make it in the last hour, but he's definitely here on Friday, by the way.
Oh, that's good.
He said, I'm free Friday. He's not free. He said, I'll try and make it for the last hour. I think I know what he's doing. I think he's watching the slide match, because it's the
European Cup match. Yeah,
European Cup. You know
he
what
was
I mean?
watching Panathinaikos last week.
Well, why don't you come on with him on Friday?
I can't come on Friday because I'm meeting a lad in Liverpool. He's got lots of photographs that he wants me to deal with and sign. So I'll be in Liverpool at the Shankly Hotel. Okay. Otherwise, I would. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. Do you know what I was watching today? Not today, yesterday. I don't know when I was watching it. Yesterday, I think. And I'm going to ask you, and I know that these will Google, but you won't have time to Google, George, and neither will JK, because he could Google, because I'm going to ask him first, okay? So don't Google, JK, okay? Okay. When we played Barca in the semi-final at Anfield, the 4-0 game, who were the only two English players playing for us?
Henderson. Henderson was one.
No. No, this is against Barca.
At Anfield?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Well, Origi scored the first goal from a rebound, didn't he, from Henderson's shot?
Okay. I'm sure.
The first goal, Henderson shot, keeper parried it, and Origi put it in the net.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you forget him?
No, I didn't. I was watching it today. Was I yesterday? I don't know when I was watching it.
He's English, isn't he, Henderson? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course he is.
Right, who else? Who else? That's the
I
thing.
think I've got the wrong bloody match. I think I've got the
Milner.
wrong match.
Milner.
Yeah, Milner. Yeah. I think I've got the wrong match. Do you know? No, do you know what it was? I'm sorry, boys. I'm sorry. Don't Google any because they're all coming out and saying Enzo, Trent, Milner. Yeah, they're all coming. and I was look at this one. I think I'm taking me. Listen to this one. Happy Phil's Frank. I'll tell you what it was, George.
I'm going to get my tablets.
I'll tell you what it was. I don't know why I said the Barca game. It was the Real Madrid game when we beat them 4-0. Who were the only two English players playing in that game? Everyone else was foreign.
Was it? Yeah, it was at Anfield. Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was at Anfield when we beat them 4-0. We just played. I don't know whether we just played Man U. It was the greatest week, in my opinion. We beat them. We beat Man United 4-1 up there at Old Trafford. And we had Real here and we beat them 4-0. And it could have been 7 or 8, you know. That Casillas was absolutely out of this world.
What year was that, Frank?
2009, I think.
2009, yeah.
Carragher?
Steve Gerrard.
Yeah, I need you to say JK.
Carragher, yeah?
Yeah.
Carragher and Gerrard. Two Scousers.
Yeah, you're spot on the periods. Yeah. Gerrard and Carragher. They were the only two English players in the team.
Amazing.
And everybody else was, foreign. And what foreigners they were, Mascherano, Xabi Alonso in midfield along with Steven Gerrard. Look at that midfield. Look at that. See, he was just playing behind Torres, Steve. Yeah. Just playing behind. Scored 2 goals, don't forget. Scored a penalty. And he scored at... do you know if VAR would have been out then? Here's something for you. And the lads on here. Do you think that would have been a penalty by the Heinz fella?
Mm-hmm.
You ever remember it?
I'm struggling to remember that. What was it? Describe it. I can't.
The ball came over and he went up and his arms went up. Yeah. And the way the camera showed, it's as though he hit it with his, ear.
Yeah.
Hit it with his arm. But when it shows it,
sounds like it should be a penalty, yeah.
It's hit his shoulder.
Yeah, sounds like it should be a penalty.
Yeah, but it's hit his shoulder. I think if VAR would have been out then, that would have been no penalty. But the referee gave it anyway, scored. Steven Gerrard. And he scored a goal that was, it hardly gets mentioned. And it was a belter. Babel put the ball over and he half volleyed it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It was a cracking goal, that, and it hardly ever gets mentioned. Mentioned. And Enzo Torres was superb. And that's another thing as well. I think the VAR would have come out, and it's just like what happened against City when that player went up and put his arm on,
on Alisson,
Yeah, on Alisson, the goal was disallowed. And I think it was Silva. He had the ball. And he was running. Him and Fernando Torres was running. And Torres put his hand on him. And he slipped. The lad slipped. And he took the ball and just hit it over to The state, no, Cout it was, I'm sorry. Was it Cout?
Yeah, Cout, yeah.
It was Cout, I'm sorry, it was Cout. And he put us over for Torres to score. But he went down, that lad. And I think if VAR would have came out, they would have given a foul. If, you know, he would have gone over and all this VAR stuff, I think they would have given a foul. Because he did touch him. We've
had some good results against Barcelona and Real Madrid. Do you remember, didn't we beat Barcelona in the new camp? And Bellamy was...
Yeah, Bellamy, yeah. And I always remember little Leo scored, and what's his name? Benayoun. He scored the header.
That's right. Yossi Benayoun, yeah. He was a tidy player as well. Yeah. Bellamy had a golf club. He was swinging a golf club or something in Bellamy. I don't know what that was all about.
He was doing it to Teresa because he has a bit of an argument.
He had an argument, that's right, yeah. They shook hands after you.
Yeah. So it was the golf club. It was over golfing.
He was quite fiery, Bellamy, wasn't he? He was quite a fiery player.
Yeah, very fiery. And I think he was underrated. I'll tell you, he was one of the
most quick. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, he was underrated for Liverpool. And he gets mentioned now and again, if you know what I mean. And that was John Walk.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Walk was a good player, yeah. A goal scorer as well from midfield.
Goal scorer, yeah. He scored quite a number of goals for the Reds. I thought he was great.
And for Ipswich before he came. Yeah. No, he was
I went into a cafe at the top of Lord Street. And as I walked in, he shouted me. John Walk shouted me. I looked over and I went, John Walk. And he went, how are you? How are you? He said, I watch you. That was when I was on LFC TV.
Yeah.
I think he was doing an interview or something, you know. He came up to do an interview for them. He said, I watch you on LFC TV with the Saints. I
was sat with him not last year, the year before at the ex-players dinner at the Hilton. And he was telling us all about when he filmed Escape to Victory and about Sylvester Stallone, you know, playing goalkeeper. He didn't have a clue, he said. It took about 50 takes.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, it's a film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably more. Was it probably more than that as well?
Yeah. He said Pelé had to take about 10 takes for an overhead kick.
Escape to Victory.
Escape to Victory, yeah.
Escape to Victory, yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it, really, where, you know, we can look at the likes of certain like sports programs, you know, films, and how many takes to get it right. I'm talking about sport, you know, like you see all these, especially American, all these baseball things, you know, fields of whatever it is, and well, you know, with Kevin Costner, and there's one with Robert Redford.
Field of Dreams.
Yeah. That's right.
Field of Dreams. Yeah.
Field of Dreams.
Loads of choreography to get it right.
Yeah, that's right. And you think choreography was for dancers, wouldn't you? And it's not for everything, to be honest. I remember being in violent playgrounds, and they had to do 14 takes on me.
In Liverpool, yeah.
Standing by the swings like that. Little kid. No, they never had 14 takes. He just said, could you stand there? And I went, not 4. He said, just stand there. I said, okay. See me standing there. I was like...
Yeah, in Field of... In that Field of Dreams. Kevin Costner.
Chilling Gardens, Field of Dreams. But you know what? I said to Francine, you know, I said, I'm in a film. I said, like, it was coming on the telly. I said, I'm in that, you know. She said, go away. She was about 14, 15. And I said, yeah, I'm in that. And anyway, she had all the mates in from school, you know, sitting when it came on. I wasn't in, like. And she said to me, hey, Dad. I said, what? She said, you wasn't in it. I said, I was. I said, I was standing by the swing. She said, your name never went up. They were looking for my name. You know,
you weren't in the credits.
Yeah. Oh, Peter Cushing and Stanley Bacon and Anne Hayward and David McCallum. You know, she said, "I never seen your name." And she goes on about it today, actually. Great. Let's get on to these wonderful people. Let's see what they are. Now, I'm going to go straight to him. Brian says, Ray Elton was an underrated player for us. Clever football brain him. And that's what Norman says. Soulboy Fran, great penalty taker, walk, never missed many, as Soulboy Fran says. Steve Finnan. I made up your mentions then, Brian. And I'm going to go to George straight away. Steve Finnan, what did you think of him?
He's a lovely player. He's a very, very good player, Steve Finnan. You know, in a way, he was a bit underrated. You know, I loved him. I thought he was a super player. Really did. Yeah. Yeah. He didn't play as long as he should have done for Liverpool, I don't think.
No. And when you look at him, he was underrated.
Yeah.
Because it's like today. He was bombing up and down the wing, and he had loads of energy, and he was the type of player, George, I don't know whether you ever heard of this, like saying, he just got on with his game.
Yeah, a bit under the radar. Yeah.
A bit under the radar, because he had so many superstars in front of him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and when you look at, you looked at, I was talking, yonks ago to some fella about 2005, the final. And I said to him, and I mentioned Steve Finnan, and he said, "Did he play?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "He went off at half time to the man." He said, "Did he?" I said, "Yeah, he played."
Yeah.
No,
many people know that,
yeah. See, again, it's just as you said, about going under the radar. And that's what Steve Finnan was like. He just went under. I thought he was great. I thought he was solid, in other words. He was a solid player. And not many got past him. Not many.
A bit like Rob Jones, you know. Rob Jones played for quite well. And he was always under the radar a bit. Never really came through. You know, some players fly, others seem to go a long level and never really get up to that top level.
That's right. Like and when you see, do you know what? Like looking back then, I wonder if JK hasn't gone, has he? Oh, there you go. Are you all right, JK? You there?
He's going to take his tablet.
I think the connection's a bit dodgy.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Anyway, oh, good. I was just talking there about Steve Finnan. Do you remember him? I think
he may be too young.
Yeah, I think he lives at the foot of the Alps.
Sounds like he lives under the Alps.
Jay says John Walk said was lethal, and he was a good header of a ball as well.
Yeah,
he was a good header of a ball. PSJ are throwing the kitchen sink at Newcastle, but can't find the net. Georgie's one up. Says, I don't have. I'm not being funny, but I don't like scores coming up on the thing. To be honest, and I'm not telling you off or anything, but. Honestly, I'm not selling you off, Brian. It's just that I don't know. I always remember Stephen Snake. I was doing a history show, and just an ordinary show, and he was saying, "Oh, look at that! This is great!" And I'm going, "Hang on a minute." I said, "I don't do football." I said, "I'm trying to do a show here." But anyway, that's by the by. Do you know that that Stallone stole the Rocky story from a real-life Rocky, a man called Chuck Wepner? He promised them money if the film became a hit, and Webber never seen a penny. No, I didn't know that. I didn't. I always thought that Sylvester Stallone wrote the thing, because I think you've got to look at that more deeply, because he could have sued him. Believe you me, he could have sued him, Chuck Wepner. And I always remember Chuck Wepner, Muhammad Ali fighting him. I always remember Ali, going against these.
I loved Ali. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, but do you know who the greatest heavyweight was, in my opinion? Rocky Marciano, undefeated.
He was undefeated, Frank. He was undefeated in 53 fights.
You think about it. I just mentioned Chuck Wepner. I've just mentioned it. Ali fought. Ali fought some terrible, Jack Bodell, come on. Brian London, for God's sake. He fought awful fighters. And all right, he fought Frazier, he fought Ken Norton. Ken Norton beat him twice, he couldn't beat him. So when I look at Rocky Marciano, undefeated, as you quite rightly said, undefeated. And the only undefeated world champion in the world.
Yes.
Still, think about it. And every fighter then were hungry fighters.
Yeah, and there was only one world champion.
Yeah.
Undisputed, one world champion.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Undisputed world champion of the world. And he was never defeated. Think about that. So to me, Marciano was the greatest of all.
I wouldn't argue with that, Frank. Sadly killed in a plane crash.
Unfortunately. And do you know what? I tell you that my best pound for pound boxer. Shall I tell you who that was, George? Whether you'd agree, I don't know. And my best pound for pound boxer was Roberto Duran.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. He was hard as nails.
He was incredible fighter.
Who was he? He had 3 great fights with somebody. Who was it? Was it
Thomas Haynes? He had one with Thomas Haynes, one with Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray Leonard, yeah.
I don't know whether he fought Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Hagler. I'm not sure if he was the same weight.
Well, I'm not quite so sure. He was frightening that. Do you ever remember? You must remember this, George, being down here. Do you ever remember Dick Tiger?
Yeah, Dick Tiger, colour lad, yeah. Remember him?
My uncle Tony, he did a bit of boxing, and he showed me something. I got a picture. There's a picture. I said, "Who's that?" And he said, "His name's Dick Tiger." And that's always resonated with me in my mind, because he looked so frightening. And I was a kid. And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Is he a boxer?" He said, "Yeah." And he was a middleweight, wasn't he? I don't know whether he was champion of the world or whatever.
I used to know Alan Rudkin really well, because he used to come up to Anfield because Shankly loved him. And I know his sons now, they live in Spain. But I mean, Rudkin was only I couldn't believe how small he was.
Yeah, he was very small.
You don't realise he's flyweights or whatever they are. They're only about 9-10 stone or something.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very small. He used to have the big house in town.
Big house at Lime Street, yeah.
And he went. I'm not going to talk about him, but he went the way he went, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. It's hard life boxing. Most of them go off the walls, don't they?
Yes. I don't know whether you know this story, but he was going through some financial problems, and when he had the big house, and he didn't realise that there was a painting on the wall worth $250,000 because it was sold. $250,000. it was worth.
Wow.
Poor Alan, so yeah, they're great stories of great Liverpool individuals, and as you said, the Shank loved them.
He did. And there's a guy called Billy Gannon as well, when he fought in El Tarleton.
Billy Gannon,
and some of the stories he used to tell us about going to America and riding the rods under the trains to go to the next fight. They go underneath the train, get taken to the next city.
Do you know? Do you ever remember the Scot, only an amateur, and he always wanted him to turn pro, and he wouldn't turn pro. Dick McTaggart.
Yeah, he was from Dundee, not far from Aberdeen, where I live. Yeah, he won the gold medal in the 1956 Olympics.
He did, and I'll say I came from my uncles, albeit that my uncle Sony, a bit of that. He was an Evertonian. And my uncle Ronnie, he was a red. They were all reds, and he was a blue. And he took us down. I never went. My mum wouldn't let me go. They were going down to see down to the stadium. They were going down to the stadium, to, some fights. And who made a guest appearance down there? And this is how I got to know about Dick McTaggart. Now, what he was doing in Liverpool, I haven't a clue, but he was there watching I'm sure it was England versus Scotland. Because they used to have England versus Scotland.
Amateur boxing, yeah.
Yeah, they did. But he never fought for some reason, And they were just made up that they seen Dick McTaggart. And that's how I got to know the name Dick McTaggart. So, and they always had him on, like when you said about the Olympics, and he was always on the news, wasn't he?
Yeah,
especially
you're talking about the Liverpool Stadium. We used to go down there and watch a wrestling, and it was unbelievable. They had all these characters, fantastic characters, and the women used to around the ring with the handbags hitting them, and the Zebra Kid and Masambula and all these people, Jack Pye. It's unbelievable.
Do you know what? I went down there, but I took this girl out, I always fancied this girl. And I fancy going out. And she went, "Yeah, all right." I said, "Where are you going?" And she said, "Do you fancy going to the stadium?" And I said, "What for?" Anyway, we went down to the stadium, and it was to a concert. And who was on there? Two of my faves, Hoople and Hawkwind, right?
Oh, yeah. Now, remember that.
I was on the radio. I was with Tony Snell. And I mentioned it. I don't know whether it was 71 or 72. And an email came through. And I mentioned Hawkwind and Hoople, you see. I said, it was great. And what I said also, even the warm-up bands, there was only a couple. I said they were brilliant. The warm-up, the people who warmed the audience up, they were absolutely brilliant. And an email came through, and you know what? It said, "Frank, I was there. I was at that stadium that night to see Hoople and Hawkwind." He said, and one of the warm-up groups was Queen.
Wow.
Now I seen Queen. I think long before anyone else, long before
they became famous,
yeah.
Wow.
I seen Queen, and I didn't. All as I know was what I said, that even the warm-up bands were brilliant. So it's the stadium, and
it was a fabulous arena. The stadium, it was.
Well, it was the very
60s and 70s, yeah.
But George, it was the very first purpose-built boxing stadium in the whole of the country.
Yeah, they had huge fights there.
And they pulled it down.
Yeah.
Think about it. They pulled it down. And that really... Anyway, I've got to go. Poor JK's gone. Right, I'm going to ask you for your... I'm going to ask everybody on here, and you, George, I want your back four.
for the last game.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for Thursday. Who would you play on Thursday? Now, don't forget, George. If we win this game, we've won the league, and we won't have to worry about anybody. You know, the following game or whatever. We can put kids out. We can put me and you out there, and the Bars of Flowers and Stephen Snape and Brian Edley. They can put them all out there. You know,
I'd love to be out there.
Any of them. So think about it. Who would you play on Thursday?
Well, I think you play Tsimikas at left back.
Okay.
I don't think you'll bring in one of the young lads. He might be on the bench. He might come on like they did last time. Probably play Gomez, maybe Kwanzaa, Van Dijk, and Tsimikas.
Okay. Well, who's your midfield be?
I'd leave Trent out to start with because, you know, he's had a big game at the weekend and need him on Friday. Midfield, I would think you'll probably find Harvey Elliott will probably start. I'd imagine it's an opportunity for him to start. Probably Curtis and Gakpo. Because I think he's got a strong bench, and any one of these guys can come on if things are not looking brilliant, you know. So I think you try and rest them and hope they get a win without them, you know. I might be wrong. You might play a stronger team, like you said.
No, that is a strong. You just think about it. That is a strong back line, isn't it? That comes.
It's still a strong team, yeah. Gakpo's international.
Exactly.
Elliott's playing well. Curtis is playing well.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You know, your midfield is very strong. Yeah. Very, very strong. So you've got a very strong midfield. So who's your three forwards, big?
Well, I was thinking if Doak's fit, I would give him a game because he hasn't played for a while, and it's an opportunity for him to show what he can do at home in a European tie. It'll rest Salah. Again, Salah could be on the bench if you need him. And then but Jota's going to be injured, so he comes out of the equation. So it's probably going to be Núñez and Diaz.
Yeah, it has to be Diaz because Diaz, you know, he hasn't started, has he? Or has he started? He hasn't started, has he, for a while? Yeah. And he came on as sub, didn't he? So he needs a run out.
But he might play Gravenberch in the midfield. He might play him as well. Give him some more games.
Gakpo go forward. What about Gakpo?
Gakpo could be up front alongside with Doak and Diaz, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got, no matter what you pick, it's a very strong side. And leaving out
side, and you'll be resting the key players for the weekend.
Exactly. The likes of Szoboszlai, the likes of McAllister.
McAllister was interviewed after the game on Sunday, and he said he felt really exhausted when he came back with the jet lag. And he said that all he had was like a 30-minute meeting and a 45-minute meeting and 30 minutes training. And it's very difficult. So maybe it's a good time to give him a good rest for the weekend or bring him on the second or whatever, you know.
No, and with your midfield that you picked, the likes of Curtis, the likes of Gravenberch, and the likes of Elliott,
And he's been playing well, Elliott. I mean, you know, and there's no doubt about it. He has been playing well.
Yeah. And
give him a chance. Show what he can do from the start, you know.
Yeah. And so that's a very strong midfield. That's a very, very strong midfield. Very strong forward line as well. Yeah. And a very strong
goals, of course.
Yeah. Kelleher. Yeah, of course. So
and then if you look at the players that are playing or be on that bench, we'll have a first team on the bench.
Yeah. This is it. As you said, if anything's going wrong. So what's
they're bottom of the table, aren't they? The team we're playing are at the bottom. They've only got 2 or 3 points. So all things being equal, that team should be strong enough to get at least a point. And we'll win, I think, to be honest. But we only need 1 point to be sure to qualify, I think.
Jake Kismet said, Frank, my connection kept crackling and it wasn't a nice sound. It was great talking to both you guys. You'll never walk alone. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, he's a smashing fella. Isn't he a lovely man?
Yeah. Very knowledgeable as well.
Yeah. Brian Edley says, the Saint best puncher I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about boxing. What's your prediction and team for Thursday versus last season, Brian McMahon? Well, we're coming to that. I'm not going to ask him his prediction yet. I'll just go through some of these, please, if you don't mind, Brian and George. Max Schmeling, who fought Joe Louis, good fighter. Yeah, Max Schmeling.
And Joe Louis.
Oh, Joe Louis. Signed for Liverpool, didn't he? You know, obviously it was a publicity stunt, but nevertheless, he signed. Lee says the last lineup, Kelleher, Gomez, Canete, Quansah. Now, Canete needs a game as well. The young left back, Endo, Jones, Elliott, Doak, Gapco, Diaz.
Yeah, I forgot about Endo. Endo probably play, yeah.
So there you have, you have the lad. You've got very strong side here. Stephen Snipes, great show, Frank. Good night, everyone. Take care. Up the rents.
Nice, Snippy.
That was straight to the point rather than, a dictionary corner. Do any of you remember a woman called Mary Peters? Yeah.
She won the gold medal.
Yeah, she was...
Decathlon was it?
Yeah, Belfast, I think she was from. Mary Peters.
She was, yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't she a javelin thrower or something like that?
I think she was in a decathlon, one of those, number of events, pentathlon or decathlon or something.
The Vars says, I'm glad you like Hawkwind, Frank. I like Queens.
Yeah, they're my favourite band, Queen. Live Aid, 19, whenever it was, 19.
They were the best on there. They were the best on Live Aid. They were absolutely magical. George must remember such a different city to what exists today. Half of the city has gone now, sadly, says Mark Simons.
Oh, yeah, it's a different city.
Well, it's different for me as well. I remember I was asked to take this Australian. He said, would you take me and, around? He said, I haven't been back. This is true, this, for 50 years. He was into his 70s. He left when he was in his 20s. Anyway,
I think the young lads like Mark's talking about, if they read my book, any of them have read the book, one of the chapters describes Anfield as it was, outside and inside, in the corridors, all around the stadium, the whole thing, as it was in 1960, 61, 62. And people would be shocked at the stadium as it was then, the outside, the inside, compared to what you're looking at today with 98 highway along the side and all that. It's just, completely changed. You remember it, Frank, how it was.
Yeah. But when I used to walk into the Cop, I used to run up them stairs.
Yeah.
Leading up to the top of the Cop. I used to run up them. I can't even walk up.
Everybody had the spec, didn't they? Everybody had the spec where they went. Once you got there, you couldn't get out.
Yeah.
You were there for the duration.
I used to wait for a fella named Fagan. This Fagan lad was like that. Huge. About 10 foot tall. It's like that. And I used to wait for him at the top of the year. And I said to some copper once, because he owed the same copper stood there, every home game. And I said, has that big fella Fagan come in yet? He said, no, not yet, lad. So I was standing there waiting for him. When he came up, the copper looked at me and I just got behind Fagan and we went right down the Cop. Because everything just parted.
Yeah.
I used to get in front of him then. Brilliant. But these are the things.
Used to pass people down from the top, didn't they? Yeah. Pass them down.
No, as I said, I couldn't run. I used to run up them stairs. Yeah. And when Marios came over for his book launch, you had to see me getting a hands up to go up on the stage a couple of steps, didn't you? So that was me. That was me. Today, so we'll just take it so.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good shout there. Good shout. Brian Edley says front three, Doak, Diaz, Scott.
I'll be there, Brian. I'll take my boots.
Scott. Mark Simons. Freddie Mercury lived in Dovetail Towers in Allerton Road while he was studying at university, and there is a recording of Freddie playing in his band at the Magna Club, Ardman Street on YouTube. Oh, go away. I know that he lived up there. I do know that. I do know that. But I didn't know that there's a little like jamming thing. I would go with Gapco, Diaz, Darwin, says JK.
Yep. No problem with that.
And JK says, Zobo should have the week off and rest up for Sunday. Isn't needed for Thursday. And yeah, that's what we've said anyway.
I stay with all the key players. Yeah, I'd rest all the key players. Most of them anyway. And
Eddie Cotton. I was an apprentice in a Prince's round the corner from the stadium in Bixted Street and got the job of delivering the posters for the world title. I went to see that fight.
Yeah.
John Conway and Amuda. Yeah, I've seen that. And we were talking to that Jorge Moody, you know.
Yeah.
We were standing outside the Lord's Warden in London Road. He's having a bevy. Not on the day of the fight, by the way. So he's having a bevy. And he was walking down London Road. And we went, no, then. Hello, lads. It's incredible. Absolutely amazing.
He was great in his day with John Conte,
yeah. Conte, yeah. He was. Bars says the city looks different to when I was a child, teenager, many teen. As I said, now I took this fella around. There was a big group. He said, you know, can I come along with your group? I said, yeah, by all means, come along. And then in the group, now they didn't know each other. There was another Australian who had left Liverpool 30 years before, right? 30 years before, you know, the fellow was about 20 years younger anyway, because he left when he was in his 20s also. So anyway, they were walking around, and the pair of them said the change is immense. Now, the fella who 50 years, he said, I don't reckon. And I brought them around, and I went into this, I forget where it was. And he said, where are we? And I told him, wherever we were, you know. And he said, I can't believe this. It was around by the cabin, you know.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. And the fella as well, who only left 30 years before, he said the change is immense.
Yeah, it is amazing. It's amazing looking at the skyline.
Yeah, absolutely. And funny enough, we were by St. George's Hall, and the fella who left for 50 years came back. He was looking at St. George's Hall. And obviously he knew that had been all cleaned up. And so did the other fella. Now the point he made is, and I believe that, now that used to be my playground. You know, around St. George's Hall and the Stone Mountain. That used, because I only lived over the road, I lived in Jeddah Gardens. That was our playground.
Yeah.
And he said, I always thought that St. George's Hall stone was black stone. That's all the pollution that just manifested itself on
it was terrible pollution those days.
Because we thought it as well, you know. Yeah. We thought that it was black stone, same as the Liver building. It was incredible. Yeah. And the Port of Liverpool building.
And don't forget, the Albert Dock hadn't been excavated in the 60s, had it?
No.
They hadn't excavated that the way it is now. It was just had to get all I had a friend actually, in fact, his father played for Everton, Norman Greenhalgh. And Dave Greenhalgh, Norman's son, he worked on the excavation. They found all sorts in there, you know, down under the mud. All sorts of stuff.
No.
You know. The desk people used to sit on, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look at it now.
Do you know what, George? It's like going back to what Mark says. He says John Conte was probably the closest we ever had to an American-style boxer. Such a great talent, and was my hero as a kid.
Yes, he was. Come from a big family.
Yeah. Yeah. I met his sister once. She was, I forget her name.
Yellow.
They used to tell us about the yellow Mersey when we got to on the stadium tours, but I knew about it. Yeah, the yellow Mersey. And John Conte was class, says Vaz.
He was.
But, you know, he had problems and, you know, he should have
Well,
done better than what he was. And that's the shame about John, because he had the perfect physique. And as Mark Simon said, he wasn't an American style boxer.
Yeah.
He was.
It's a tough sport.
The bright lights got the better of him, put it that way.
Yeah.
The bright lights got the better of him. I tell you who else should have done well, but he wasn't a Liverpool lad. Do you ever remember Terry Zowns?
Yes. He had a broken nose.
Yeah, he should have done well.
East London.
Yeah, and Charlie Magri.
Yeah.
Magri. John H. Stacey. John H. Stacey lives up here now.
Yeah, they were all great.
Yeah, of course. And Brian Edley says, get onto this. Yosse, the artist Jan.
Gives a job.
Yeah, gives a job.
Remember, he was on with Graham Souness, wasn't he?
The artist man in Liverpool. And Zarrell says, come on, Frank. Bedtime. And you, George. Yeah,
I need my Horlicks, Frank. I need my Horlicks.
So I've had my pill, you see. So anyway, George.
I'm not man yet.
JK, you're still listening, and thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much out there for joining the pod, and the great George Scott. And I know George will be back with me next Tuesday. You will
yeah.
with George.
Yes, we'll be back next Tuesday.
And hopefully Marriott as well. But I'll see you all on Friday, all you football lads. See you all. I know that Vase of Flowers will be on with us. And I've got anyway, that's it for tonight.
I think we'll win 3-0, Frank. I think we'll win 3-0.
I was just going to ask you then. Can you give us 3-0 on Thursday? Okay? That's what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, George. Good night, mate. See you later.
Next Tuesday. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, George. Bye-bye now. Bye. Well, that's George gone. 3-0 as prediction, which is great. If you want to give me a quick prediction, please do. I'll go off in 2 minutes. And as Brian says, a brill, lads. Thanks. Stay safe. You never walk alone. God bless. JK. Great show, bros. You never walk alone. JK, tell him. Do something, please, about your thing. It's cold tonight. Cup of tea time. I'm having cocoa. I was with Francine the other day. And there was these chocolate things, cocoa things. They're only a little cup like that. And I had one last night, and it was lovely. But I didn't go to sleep. So I might have one of them to see if I can go to sleep. I've been up, believe it or not, since 10 to 6 this morning. Can't bloody sleep. Right, bye-bye, everyone. See you soon, says Vase of Flowers. See you on Friday, Lee. See you Friday. And I was going to do a film review on tomorrow night, but I'm not because of all this bloody football. And what I'll do, Lee, I'll tell you on Friday when we're doing it. I think we're doing it Saturday morning, aren't we? Is it Saturday morning or Sunday morning? I don't know. One of those days. Peace at Lee, says JK. And he says, I'm going with a 3-0 Thursday and 3-0 Sunday. Terrible, Mary. 8-0. Mark Simons, Frank and George show, the best in the West. Mark Simons, thank you so much. Thank you. Norman, it's Liverpool to Manchester. And JK, hot chocolate. Yeah, I had it last night. It was lovely. I'm going to have it tonight again. They're only in little tubs. Capri ones, little tub like that. You just had hot water. And it was lovely. Really was. Really was. Enjoyed it, actually. So I'll have one of them before I go to bed. I've got to take another tablet. I'll take a tablet first and make a couple later on. Mark, so is Alisson still injured with Jota yet? Unfortunately, Mark. Yeah, we won't know really until tomorrow because the journalists are going to pressurise Jürgen to tell us. They won't come out and say anything. They're like to that Bettitich. They won't say nothing, and that's wrong. They should tell fans what's wrong with them. Unless he's acting the goat and he'll be playing at the weekend. But anyway, whether or not Carlyle would have been playing if he's injured or not, he would have been playing Thursday. Carlyle, that is. 3-0. Do well, Frank. Hope you get some luck with your health, Frank. You have had no luck this long time. How's Francine? She did well. She did well. She never won because she had to have, people there to support, and there was somewhat people there, and he had loads of people to support, and she had no one, unfortunately. But this little fella, this old comedian, she said he was in his 80s. He went, "You were the best on there. You should have won that," which was comforting to her. And some of the fellas said it, by the way, as well, not just him. Yes, and plastic cups. Nice them, Frank. Yes, sir. Sorry, Norman. Yes. I bet your wife buys you, and I bet your aunt buys you them, Norman. Great night, Frank and George. Good night, says Arthur Schofield. Thank you so much. Thank you, Arthur. Eddie Cott. I'm having a shilling on 4-0. Think last or last. Someone had to get that into think last or last. Another happy pill says Norman. Yeah, that's it. Have to. And JK. I hope you're feeling better though, Frank. Thank you so much, JK. Thank you, mate. You're a good fella. And as I said, everyone, thank you so much. You're good people. And the next time, or even now, just press subscribe because I'm losing subscription. People are not unsubscribing me. It's YouTube. It's YouTube because I follow something, and every time I go on it, it says, when you go on, I go onto this thing and it says subscribe. I've already subscribed. So, and you've got to subscribe. You don't need to. I'm saying, for this thing that I do, you don't need to. Because it's just like an airport thing, and but that's what YouTube are taking off the subscriptions, so that the likes of you, you could go on it, to subscribe, and you won't be subscribed, and that's all I'm saying. And just press it, please. And it's just to get the algorithm out there because I was doing so well. I really was. I was coming up to the 1K mark, and all of a sudden I've dropped down to like just over 350 or 360, something like that. So I've got to get it back up there. And it's wrong, to what YouTube are doing. And I only watched it because I was watching it on alternative news last night. And he said exactly the same. That's where I got the idea. So I went on it and I went, that's what they're doing. They're taking like subscriptions off so that you subscribe again to make sure that you're watching YouTube, if you know what I mean. So thank you, if you can do that for me. Thank you. And as Brian says, Frank, can you hit the like button as many times as you like? If you like, it's every week. Or every show that I do. You press the like every show, and also go to the subscribe, because you might have subscribed before, but with YouTube and what they're doing, you might be subscribed again. So you've got to press the subscribe. Subscribe and like. It only takes a second. Thanks, Brian, anyway, for that. They are taking away your likes to Frank's show. Please check and like again, says Norman, just in case. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And JK says they used to do that with Twitter. That's what the fella said last night, JK. He said exactly the same. Take away the followers, etc. Social media without us is nothing, but they still try to mess with the public somehow. That's exactly what this fella said last night, JK. It's exactly what he said. And that's the unfortunate thing. And, as it says at the like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, share and comment. But anyway, I'll be seeing you all on Friday, hopefully. And we'll have a pre-match for the weekend. We'll pick our teams, and I'll have the vase of flowers on. I'll have JK's there with us. It'd be great if we can get a good connection. Just let me know if anyone else wants to come on at some point, because I'd love you on, I really would. And don't forget me, I'll be doing it on Saturday, I think. No, Sunday. Yes, no, Saturday. I don't know when I'll be doing it, but it'll be 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 or 11 in the morning, a film review thing I'll be doing. I've got a cracking film to talk about as well. Really good. Watched it last night. Anyway, it's just for me to say a big thank you to Jason for producing the show. But the biggest thank you is for you out there. And I'll see you all on Thursday. No, you won't. Friday.